what's become clear to me because of the movie, I was guaranteed a percentage of income based upon net profits, which is the way it works in Hollywood. I'm not Art Buchwald. That's a long story with Paramount. I've been around Hollywood too long.
Let me ask, are there any Zeitgeisters here tonight? Anybody? Yeah? You can make a clap, okay, so I know you're there. Are there any CollapseNet members here tonight? Are there any Ron Paul supporters here tonight? Well, we have a reach, and what we say here tonight is going to be widely viewed around the world. This speech tonight will be on CollapseNet for our members, and we encourage you to share it and get it out as much as possible. Anybody here tonight 30 years old or younger? All right, this speech is for you. And more than anything else tonight, I want anybody else who's here and listening to understand that the audience that I want to reach is those 30 and under, because you are a generation that has been thoroughly screwed. You are a generation that is being left with the wreckage, the ruin, the debt, the pollution, the collapse, the wreckage of human industrial civilization. And ever since I first was introduced to peak oil by a guy named Dale Allen Pfeiffer in 2001, right before I first spoke at Portland State, 10 years ago. We had 1,000 people turn up that night. It's been very clear to me that if I have a mission in life or a responsibility, and what we do at CollapseNet is all about serving the people who will be alive after this is over. So many of us tried to warn and reach out for so long. And many governments read CollapseNet. We have influence. Did you know that the federal flood insurance program is insolvent? The government is broke. And in case you didn't know, our government has been lying to you about a great many things, like fix the economy. So we cannot trust the United States government to be our advocates or to tell us the truth. And we cannot trust the Japanese government to tell us truth about anything, because we know the Japanese government has been lying hand over fist. Tens of thousands of pounds of cesium-contaminated beef have been eaten by hundreds of thousands of Japanese. Japan is dying. It cannot be stopped, and Japan is a vital organ to the world economy. It's like the world economy losing a liver, the lungs. The world economy is dead, and that's how in April I was absolutely able to predict what was going to happen in the world economy starting the end of July and early August, right on the money. CollapseNet, we scan the whole world, and we bring you that news every day and that analysis every day. If you've been a CollapseNet member, you know that we made a lot of predictions that have probably saved you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of worry. You're not being caught by surprise. But what's emerging is the first clear step that has to happen. We do not have to know what the world will look like in a perfect world, nor do we have to conceive that. This is a battle. And those of you who followed me for a while know that I've spent some time hanging out with special forces. I call them green beanies, and Navy SEALs, and we all have the same attitude. I come from families like that. I come from a warrior class, and when you are engaged in a battle and a war, you don't always know what you're going to do next. All you know is right now, this minute, you have to deal with this issue, and you'll figure out what you got to do next. If I were a bookkeeper adding up a column of numbers by hand with a pencil, assuming that you know what a pencil is, and you made a mistake, what would you do? Would you cover it up and try to hide it? Would you be overwhelmed with guilt and shame? That the infinite growth economic paradigm founded upon fractional reserve banking, fiat currency, and compound interest is a fraudulent, self-defeating, self-destructive, murderous, and suicidal game should be apparent to all of us by now. You might just turn the pencil over, break out the eraser, correct the mistake, fix the column of numbers, and move on. Nobody wants to punish anybody. Which side you're on. And here's something else. Any politician, any reporter, any pundit, any columnist who uses the word growth in terms of economics to you from now on, you hear it. You hear Mitt Romney or the half-witted IQ Rick Perry of Texas, or Michelle Bachmann, or Barack Obama get up and tell you we will get America back on the path to growth. You hear anybody say that word, they are your enemy. You know that.
The answer is no. I don't think that is a good strategy to grow our economy. The answer is no. I don't think that is a good strategy to grow our economy.
The American government and the Canadian government had this plant listed as a non-medicinal plant. Now, if you look it up, the American government since 2003 have had medical patents on that plant. Medical patents for a non-medicinal plant? Does that make any sense to you? Now, 1 acre is only about 65 square meters. Not a very big area. But 1 acre of hemp will produce 500 gallons of ethanol. Well, that'll run your car a long ways. But there's new enzyme processes out right now. They tell me that they can get as much as 1,800 gallons of ethanol per acre. Now, 1,800 gallons would heat your house, heat your hot water, run your car, and you'd have a few hundred gallons left over. And don't think for a second that your car can't run on alcohol, because right now, over half the cars in Brazil are running on alcohol made from sugarcane. And hemp is a superior plant to sugarcane because it has the highest cellulose content. It'll produce the most alcohol by weight. Right at present, every day, 18,000 children starving to death on this planet. 18,000 every day. We can end that in no time. Hemp seeds are one of the most nutritious things on earth. Hemp will grow in areas where nothing else will grow.
The war on drugs has been an utter failure.
There was one question that was voted on that ranked fairly high, and that was whether legalizing marijuana would improve the economy and job creation. The answer is no. I don't think that is a good strategy to grow our economy.
These people always find ways to eke profits from a system that is in meltdown. They make money on the way up, they make money on the way down. Many of my friends who are veterans of U.S. Army Special Forces or the SEAL teams fully understand that in battle one cannot wait to have the answers before taking action. We'll figure that out when we get to it is a real common theme, especially from the guys I knew from SEAL 6.
We've got to do everything in our power to grow this economy and put America back to work.
Thank you for saving our job. Thanks for saving our job. Thank you very much.
My name is Rick Simpson, and I'm here in the beautiful city of Rijeka to speak about the use of hemp medicine. What's truly happened here is years ago, big money has manipulated governments and all kinds of organizations into keeping this plant away from the public because it's so medicinal. And not only that, it's an energy source. It can feed the planet too on top of that because the hemp seeds are one of the most nutritious things you can eat. It's endless what we can do with this plant, and then we will not be at the mercy of these big energy companies. We can all supply our own energy needs. But the main use that I preach about is, the medicinal use. And big money interests like the pharmaceutical industry, the cotton industry, the oil industry, chemical industries, they didn't want the public to have free use of this plant. And if you understood what this medicine was truly all about, you could understand why. I mean, up until about 1900, half the medicine produced worldwide came from this plant. And it's only been the last few decades that the public have been denied the use of it. And the reason they were denied the use was just simply because it is so medicinal. And if we had the free use of this medicine, if we could grow this plant ourselves and produce our own medicine, then pharmaceutical companies would be out of work. This is the greatest medicine on this planet for treating all types of diseases like cancer, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, chronic pain. I could sit here and go on for the next hour because in reality, this medicine works on all medical conditions. It promotes full body healing. And it doesn't just go after like the condition you have. Like when you go to the medical system and you have say a big tumor, the medical system tries to treat the tumor. They're not treating the underlying condition that's allowing your body to create that tumor. But when you take this oil, it goes after the underlying condition, plus it goes after the tumor. And I mean, we've just seen miraculous results with the use of this medication. And where it's harmless, why shouldn't we all have access to it? I mean, we have to stand up for our own rights. We have to take our freedom back and our freedom to grow this plant. You know, I mean, should we die because the pharmaceutical company wants to make profit? And I mean, that's what's happening. People are dying for no reason. There's no reason that this plant couldn't be used to heal the world. And this is the direction we have to go. We have to take back our freedom, and we have to try to get rid of a lot of this pollution that's ruining this planet. Our planet is poisoned. It's in a horrible situation, especially like with that big Gulf oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Then you've got Japan spewing radiation for, well, heaven knows how long. That'll go on. It's spewing massive amounts of radiation into our atmosphere. That's going to make every man, woman, and child and animal life, we're all going to suffer because of this radiation. But this wonderful oil, if you use it properly, it can eliminate radiation damage. It protects you from radiation. So in the situation we're in today, I think we have to be insane not to be using it. And on top of that, this dependency we have on all this fossil fuels, again, the fossil fuels are poisoning our planet.
Let's quit ripping the farmer off. Let's get the hemp growing in this country. We're talking about 6 to 12 tons of seed per acre when you're growing hemp. So what does that do? That drives the cost of feed for the cattle down. It's also more nutritious, 3 times more nutritious than any of the grain and sorghum mixture that they're feeding them today. So what does that do? That drops our food prices because it's cheaper for them to produce it. We could grow on 1/3 of land if we just took the wasteland that's not being harvested and produced the hemp and fuel. Gas in this country would be $1 a gallon. $1 a gallon. And the farmers would still be making a ton of money, way more than they're doing now with anything that feeds us. I'm not saying that we shouldn't grow the crops for food. Of course we have to have those. But if we can put more money in the farmer's pocket and all, food prices in general will come down for us. And we don't have to affect any part of the market because this market doesn't exist right now. Some stupid idiots back in the 30s made sure that they did away with it. And believe it or not, it was the beginning of the ruin of this country. And it played a valuable role.